Ooh, almost forgot. Almost forgot. And we are live coming to you from North Kakalaki. Proud to have Dave from Dave's Midlife Card Crisis. How you doing, Dave? With me
Doing good.
Just us two. No, Axeman Night. He couldn't make it. Everything's all right with him. He just had a previous engagement, but I'm sure he's watching somewhere. But I hope everybody's doing well. First off, I just want to start. I did a little rant video yesterday morning about not being able to watch Mets games. I'm not taking all that back, but the Mets were rained out yesterday. So I wouldn't have been able to see them anyway. They were rained out today. I guess it's a lot of rain in New York. They rained them out. I looked this morning and the game was already rained out. I guess they're making it up the 1st, which is tomorrow, I guess. Is tomorrow the 1st? Or is there 31 days in this month?
Tomorrow should be the 1st.
So I never know which days are 30 or 31 days. I just have to wait till the 1st to tell me. I think they're going to play a doubleheader maybe against the Braves tomorrow. I don't know. But do you pay for the baseball package there where you're at?
No, I don't. I just kind of hope that the Mets or Yankees are on TV, and
right.
I try to. Hopefully, I'm free enough to watch them.
Right.
So it's kind of So I don't get to see a whole lot of games. Just depending if they're on like ESPN or MLB Network.
I got the baseball package. I don't know how many years I've had it now in a row. What's up, Colorado Sports Dude? It's been a while, brother. Nice to have you back. But I started watching it to get Mets games when I was living in Virginia, and I couldn't watch the Orioles or the Nationals living in Virginia. They're literally, that's our local team. I mean, they're on our local channels. That's understandable. So I just watched it on local channels. But man, I moved to Winston-Salem, and I can't watch them play against the Braves, the Nationals, the Orioles. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Natsman told me, he lives in Charlotte. He told me when I moved down here that was going to be an issue. Man, it wasn't. I was fine until they played all the teams in a week in a row, and I couldn't watch any Mets games. But I did watch some other games. Miss Shohei Ohtani from hitting a cycle and pitch a baseball game within a couple of feet. That was fun to watch.
So you don't get? You have the MLB package, and you don't get them still?
Yeah. So I got the MLB package. I paid the $124, but they black out your local games. So here in Winston-Salem, they say the Nationals, the Orioles, and the Braves are all my local teams. When I was in northern Iowa, they had both Minnesota, Kansas City, Brewers, and both Chicago teams as my local teams. So I was getting blacked out all the time. But at least there I had a Brewers channel and I had the White Sox channel. I think I might have had the Cubs too, so I could watch those games. Have to pay to watch basically everything except Rockies. Have never been an issue. Comcast screws a lot of people out of the hockey and NBA games here. Yeah, I'm hearing more and more of that. I've been lucky where I grew up in Central Virginia. Late in the 80s, we had a channel called WDCA in the early days of cable. My parents had cable when I was young, and we had WDCA. which started showing Orioles games every once in a while. It wasn't like that was the local, like it is now. They showed some of the hockey and basketball. As I got older, and they got TBS, TNT, WGN, the super stations. Then I started seeing more and more baseball. Then the sports channels started springing up everywhere. So, we had not always had this. We're a little spoiled, but you would think spending 124. I know that's not a huge amount of money, but I am paying to see out of market games, and I don't mind you choosing a market and go, that's your market. But when you start telling me that 3-4 different teams are in my market, and I don't have a cable channel for any of them to watch a game. So
can you trick it? Like put a different zip code in?
Yeah. So for last summer and up until this week, I still had my computer as if I was in Iowa. So my TVs, I couldn't watch those local games. But on my computer, I could watch it. I used to have a VPN when I was in Iowa so I could do that, watch games and stuff on the local chat or with that. But then it started blocking other stuff, like some of the channels that were like apps and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The VPN, it wouldn't play. I had to turn my VPN off or whatever to play it. And, it just got to be a hassle.
Yeah, you would think if you paid for the package, that should just be a done deal that you get every game.
Well, my dad was here when I first had my surgery, and me and him were talking like, if it's such a big issue, and I'm watching, make me watch the local channel, right, and make me watch their commercials. They're not. They used to be the thing like for football and stuff was, we want you to go to the game. That's not why they do it now. They want you to watch the local broadcast to watch the advertisements. That's why they want you to watch the local. The advertisers paid for you to watch those channels. So okay, I'll make me watch the Braves channel as much as I rather see the SNY one. But I'll watch their ads, whatever. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
But it makes me. I have 3 screens. I usually have a couple of different games on at one time anyway. It just forced me to have a couple of different games on to watch. I kind of this week been boycotting it this weekend, so I'm a little upset. It's been a week since I watched the Mets game, and as a baseball, and you're trying to build a baseball, you're doing everything to speed games up to get people to watch these games, but you do stuff like this. It really I'm a diehard, and it pisses me off where now I'm not watching any baseball. I'm watching a hockey game tonight. So yeah, that's where my rant video went yesterday. Hashtag watch the games, and like Mike O say, hashtag let me watch the games. But I did want to apologize a little bit because the Mets games were rained out this weekend. So
yeah, I did get a little excited yesterday because it was on one of our regular channels, and I was flipping through. My parents came over and they want to watch the hockey game, or no, they want to watch golf. And I was flipping there, so Mets Braves are on, sweet. And then it was the Cubs and whoever they were playing, Nationals or something.
Marlins. Okay. Yeah. So what Fox does on Saturdays, they have 2 games they show at the same time. So if your team is the team that's not being shown in your area on that Fox channel, guess what? You don't get to see that other game. And that's what I thought happened yesterday because they did have the Marlins. I wouldn't have been able to see it if it wasn't rained out because the Marlins Cubs game was my local game. Was the Fox game here. And then what tonight is the Phillies game is the ESPN games. So and they've been the poor Phillies and the Philly fans, talking to Mike and Reese and a couple other guys, they've been on Apple TV, Peacock. So in order for them to watch it when it's on Peacock, I have the Peacock app because I like some of the shows on Peacock and the wrestling. But so them were saying they had to pay $10 if they wanted to watch that one game. And I was like, that is just have to be crazy.
Well, that's probably it's $9.99. What is it can't be $10.
I think it's $4.99.
Yeah, Peacock's cheap for the app for the the whatever it's called. So you think if you pay for
it, because local cable is expensive. I don't get the local sports channel. YouTube dropped MLB Network. Yep. Pirates games are blacked out. It's super annoying. Yeah, Hulu doesn't have MLB Network either. I have Hulu as my quote-unquote cable. But Three River, to let you know, on YouTube, MLB still has not their channel, but they have their YouTube channel where the next morning they have it's like a 8 to 10 minute breakdown of every game, and it's awesome. I usually put in 1.5, 1.75 speed and watch the highlights. It's awesome. I got it. That's been my savior to keep my sanity for some of the baseball that I miss. So just I look forward to the season, and then I look forward to watching games. And I'm like a lot of people. You put games on, they're in the background. You're not sitting there watching every pitch. I might even have a regular TV show on in a game to the side, whatever. But this was a big series this week with the Mets and the Braves, because the way they got the league set up now, I don't think they play each other again until September, and it's only like for a 3-game set. They don't play each other like they used to. So when they play head to head, they're such huge games, and to miss them, it's like, man, these are your rivalry games, and you're blacking out half the East Coast from watching the games.
So the Mets already playing the Braves like twice this year?
No, only once. But since you're playing everybody now, you only playing each other like instead of like what was it last year? 9 times, 13 times. They cut it down
3 series each.
What's
2 away,
that?
2 at home. I would figure it was 2 away and 2 at home.
And I think they're only playing because they were talking about it, how it's such cut down now where you're playing a lot of your divisional games early in the season and late in the season. So they'll play either 1 or 2 more series left in the late in the season. So I don't like the way a lot of people like this playing everybody. I don't mind it, but then get rid of the divisions. That's all I ask. Just make 15 teams on each side, and just the top 6 teams go to the playoffs and just going about our business. I'm sure each, stuff like that is great for highlights and stuff. But I'm telling you, on YouTube, MLB.TV on here, it's very, very good for showing that. And they have like little things like if somebody has something special going on or anything like that, they show all the highlights. Pretty big deal. They showed like the guy from Pittsburgh getting his first hit and his first RBI or double or whatever today. That was an instant thing.
How about that? Was it
the guy that's been in the minors? What's that?
Was that the guy, that Maggie guy, the guy that was in the minors here? Oh, so they kept him up. Okay.
Yeah. So, the other day when they called him up, they had the manager. It just happened to be the day that the manager for the Pirates, he's on one of the MLB radio shows like every Tuesday or Wednesday. So whatever day they called him up, he happened to be on their show. And he said, we didn't call him up because we felt like we wanted him to come up because he's been in the minors for 13 years. We called him up because we need him. He deserves it. He's made the spot. So, yeah, I guess for who did McCutcheon get hurt? Somebody got hurt. And
I thought someone went on like paternity leave, but that could be also the Dodgers. Or I know there were several teams that had people going paternity leave for a weekend or something.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. So he's up for. I mean, he might go right back there, but yeah, that's Hey man, when they interviewed him, he just didn't know what to do. Did you see his first at bat?
I watched the highlight of it.
Where he got called a strike because he didn't get in the box because he didn't know what to do because the crowd was cheering for him. Chanting his name. The place is going nuts. I tell you, Pittsburgh right now, with everything I've talked bad about him, Dave, I talked bad about him with us before the season. I talked not really bad, just what they should do but man, you got whatever they got going on right now, it's fun to watch. So I have been watching some Pittsburgh games. They're a fun young team to watch. They don't hit the ball far, but they put a lot of balls in play, and they run, and they play great defense. So,
I love the area over there in Pittsburgh too. So, like stadium.
Oh, okay. I would love to go there. I know everybody. All those Pittsburgh guys that we're friends with, they love it. I've never been there. Everybody goes there, seems to love it. The way it's built, your sites and everything, the food, it's not expensive. It's just seems like it's a great time. Oh, Reynolds bereavement. Thank you, Three River. I knew you and they sent him back down yesterday, but he was allowed to stay up for the doubleheader. Awesome. Okay, that's what it was. Thank you, sir. So instead of paternity, he was brought in for Reynolds bereavement. Okay, now Reynolds, there's somebody else that, man, Reynolds balling this year, just straight, just playing some ball, getting recognized. I don't know if he gets recognized for as good as he is because they're not that good of a team, but this year with them playing so well, and he's playing well leading them, he's getting some good recognition, and I'm happy for him. Got paid, too. The man got paid last week or the week before. And did you see where that kid, the rookie for St. Louis, got sent back down this past week? Jordan Walker?
No, I haven't watched any Sports Center.
Okay, so that's one of the cards that were exploding, right? And the first Series 1 was his because he had, a 13-game hitting streak to start the season or 20 games, something crazy, whatever it was. Set a record from a rookie. But he kind of leveled off and started striking out some. And they sent him down this past week. But he still has better batting average and better on-base percentage than the other outfielders they have on the team. So everybody's like, what's going on? And so some of the people think they sent him down because this way it saves them. They'll still get another year in his rookie contract. And I was like, man, I thought if he started on up at the beginning of the year, that went out the window. But they're saying,
maybe if he started off with somebody on the IL,
right?
So someone came off and he just went back down because he was just a replacement.
Yeah, Jordan Walker. Roster. Yeah, third base for St. Louis. Yeah, but they've been having him in the outfield sports, dude. Jordan Walker. He's a big guy, man, and when he hits it, he's just one of those guys. When he hits the ball, he hits it. He hits it with anger and purpose. He reminds me a lot of that Aquino, and he also reminds me of Yordan Alvarez. So I just think if he gets it back together, he'll be all right. And he plays good D. He's just young. But it was kind of crazy. I listening to the radio today. I'm like you. I've been busy. let it be known I had a shoulder surgery last week, so I've been in and out of consciousness for a week or up trying to rehab it. But it's just been crazy with how this and the Cardinals are. I think I heard today 10 games already out of first place. That's crazy too. That's going to take a miracle for them to come back, I think. So we're 20 minutes in and kind of wondering what my title of my show and what we got Dave here for. Dave has been he's got a little side hustle going on in the community. It's actually very nice. We're going to talk about it a little bit tonight, go over it a little bit. So Dave, if you would talk us about what you have going on.
Yeah, so for the last couple of years, I've been putting together a spreadsheet just for rookie cards, baseball and football. And then it has, so this is the side one we have. But the main sheet has like every top rookie, every set that they have cards in. It's pretty much like a database checklist. And then obviously you can track your collection with it. And then from there, I've been making single player rookie spreadsheets. I'm trying to sell for a little bit cheaper, all on Etsy. So right now we only have, I have the Pete Alonso, which we're going to show today. I gave to Big Scott. I have like a Ohtani and Aaron Judge, and I'm going to continue to try to pump out a couple more every week and a half to 2 weeks, get about 3 or 4 on Etsy, just as single player ones. And then also, the master sheet is also up on Etsy as well, for that. So, and then we have the videos on my secondary YouTube channel, even my regular channel too. I think I have the baseball and the football one still up.
Just the one of the ones, the 2019 football rookie sample one you sent me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I was looking through this. I know the one you sent me here now is a little bit better to navigate. Really easy peasy to navigate. Really, I could tell you what, I thought I had a lot of Pete Alonsos. I have about 900 different and unique Petes, but started looking at this and I was like, man, I haven't even scratched the surface.
And that's just his 2019 and then his prospect cards from 2016 up.
Yeah, you got 2016 prospects. That was the one I was really looking at because usually for me, so he was in draft, if I remember correctly, right? Bowman draft right here. So I have that one. I have the refractor. So I have those first cards, but I'm not much in prospect cards. Like after their first card for Bowman, and I don't know if a lot of people are that way. Well, man, you have you had the pro debut ones. You have, all the Panini ones. This is you got to love here for it. Numbered, and you just go in here and click if you have a note, or you put in if you don't have it.
Well, so in the Y's there, that means he has the set. So say whatever card you have, you just type in your copy.
Okay.
So say type in, let's go to the top. Go back to the top real quick.
Okay.
So you have the 2016 Bowman, right?
Yep.
So you go right to the top in that one. What do you have in that? Is it raw, graded?
I have graded. I don't know what. I think it's a 9 off the top of my head.
So just go in there and type in PSA 9 and replace that Y.
Oh, right here.
Yeah, right there, yeah.
I played around with it one day, but I didn't want to go too crazy. Oh, okay. And it automatically saves, right?
Yep, and it turns that. On the Google Sheets, it does. On the one on Etsy, those are all Excel sheets, and those are all you have to hit the save button.
Right.
You can always convert them into a Microsoft Online sheet or a Google.
Right.
But yeah, so you just type in the grade you have. So when you're looking for cards that you need, just look for the Y, because the Y says you still need them. And then and all the other ones, whatever you type in, either raw copy or the graded copy, whichever grading company, you'll know you have that card.
Right.
So especially like you're on some like on eBay, or even like I use a lot for COMC.
Right.
I use the master sheet, and I'm going for every top rookie.
Right.
So, and I'm working on my 90s, so I can just go through CMC. Do
Right.
I have this card? I just flip over to my sheet, and I just see if I have it. If it's still Y in the cell, I don't. That means I need it. So then I'll buy it.
Right. Because I do have a spreadsheet, but it's not broken down as like this, and it tells me what I have, which for me it's kind of hard to navigate sometimes. But with this, and also I have it on my Google Sheet, so I can pull it up on any of my devices.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have it on my phone when I'm at shows.
Yeah, and so that's something too. Like, so even when you have a sheet of everything you have, sometimes you're looking through there. Okay, sometimes it's easier, I think, to look through the sheet and see what you don't have.
Right. Yep.
Do I need this, or you're looking for? Do I have it? I'm looking for something. Do I even have it?
Right.
Do I still need this? You have this. So the sheet gives you both.
Right.
Right. So this is the single player sheet. So imagine trying to figure out what you want to do for a bunch of different players.
Yeah.
Remembering what you have.
Because I know first time we ever hung out was at the last Chicago National. And I remember you looking up, like, you knew which, for funsies, we're pulling out like Fleer 91, and you knew exactly like what the top rookies were. And
who are we looking for? 91 Fleer, yeah.
Yeah, we were like, I was like, I think I'm sitting with Rain Man over here. So and then when we started talking about what your PC was, I thought that was. So I already knew you were the Mets and Giants, or Mets, Yankees, Jets. So are you, by the way, happy or not happy this weekend?
We'll see. I don't watch enough college football to know.
Aaron Rodgers, are you on Aaron
Rodgers? I'm ecstatic about that. I'm good to go with him. For the rookies you drafted, we'll see.
Yeah, I was like, well, I meant to text you about the Aaron Rodgers thing, but I got sidetracked. I was like, is this going to take the Chad Pennington PC or you better get the dollars out now? Aaron Rodgers costs a little bit.
Yeah, well, if I get an auto, I'm guaranteed they'll have an autograph from him this year in the Jets uniform and one of the products.
Right.
So it'll be super expensive, and we'll see if I can afford it.
National Treasures or something.
Yeah, if I just need one.
Well, with that, I know we're getting off sidetracked, but I got it in my mind. With that, are you want it in a Jets uniform? I would imagine, right?
So I want them in both. So
you do?
Okay. Yeah, because I collect everybody in their every uniform. But if I'm going to choose one, I'm going to get them in a Jets uniform because that's going to be my main guys.
Right.
I have a Brett Favre. I have him in a Jets uniform. But I still want him in the Packers. But it'll become secondary to the Jets.
And I tell people he's got a video on his channel, Dave's Midlife Card Crisis, where he's got 100 now different Hall of Famer autographs. It's an awesome video. It's a great look at some great autographs. I've been with him on some of those purchases, and the Ted Williams is still my favorite. And he's not a guy. I just, for some reason, that card and that autograph just hits me in the right way. I just love that card.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah,
not expensive either.
Yeah, and when you got it, it was a fun time that day. One of those things that just brings back that day for me.
Dude, what's funny about the National too is I came back with like 0 Yankee autographs and like 4 Red Sox or something like that.
So was it last year when you got the Ruth autograph? Wasn't it Ruth?
It was Mantle.
Mantle.
That's right here.
That's right. Oh yeah, you guys have it sitting right there.
Yeah, sitting right here.
Yeah, so that was a pretty. I wasn't with you, but I was. You came right over to us right after you got that.
Yeah.
And showed us. That was when it was a big group of us. That was a good one there. BBC even popped his eyeballs out a little bit on that one. That was fun. LLL dudes 40. Yeah. Let's see. So yeah, on this, I really like the way you got it set up.
Yeah, so I'm taking the master sheet I have, which is, like I said, it's on Etsy too. It's like $20, which is, I think, a better value for trying to.
Now, how do you find this on Etsy, Dave?
I think you just type in. You can either type in sports card sheets, or just type in like rookie card spreadsheet, and they should all pop up.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have a couple of individual player ones that are just more detailed. Like this is more detailed for Pete Alonso, obviously.
Right.
So it has like the card number. Is it apparel or insert? Does it have autograph or memorabilia? Is it serial numbered?
See, this one right here for the Panini. My gosh, there's so many different for the optic that year, because he
it's crazy.
Don Ross, he didn't have base card, right? He didn't have one till optic, because he wasn't a rookie. Was that FF is that franchise future or something like that?
Yeah, probably.
Card, and it's a 2-player card. So like Don Ross optic is and there's just so many different variations, and I have quite a few of these, and most of them I have are CSG graded.
But that's also on the sheet. You type CSG in there too; it has a color for that.
Yeah, because that was the thing I wanted to go to, and I'm just gonna put one in here. I don't know what I have, but I wanted it for people to see. So the PSA came up as red, right?
Yeah.
This is neat. So you CSG. We'll put the famous 8.5 for that for Ed when he's watching, and it goes to green. Love that. I think that is awesome. And guess what? So if you put in for SGC, it's got its own color. What is that? A dark green?
Yeah, some of that's kind of. I did that for more like, I guess when I was making the spreadsheet, it was before SGC started with the new slab. So the old ones are green. So that's kind of how I put it in there.
Right.
And then CSG's old slab too was also with that more of that neon green as well. So match that.
Right.
BGS. BGS in there.
It's blue. And I like that. So at first glance, you kind of know like what you have that in your it's like for somebody like me that has the Frankenstein collection, which I think more and more people are going to. You have one. I know you like getting the PSA, but you'll get anything, right?
I don't care. I'm looking for a solid grade, and I'm looking to get the card. And if it's Beckett or I've been buying the old flip CSGs because they're cheap, and I don't even care. I know the card's clean because I'm trying to collect all the cards. I know the card's graded right with CSG, no matter if it's the new flip or the old flip.
Right.
If it's an 8.5, I know it's solid. It's not BS. So I don't mind getting those. They're cheap and I can get them at a good deal. I prefer PSA, but that's because they're just more valuable down the line when I eventually sell them. But I don't need it. I'm good with SGC. I'm good with whatever.
I am not buying the PSA premiums anymore. I mean, unless it's something that's not going to go into where maybe it's on the borderline. If I want it now, maybe sell it later. But I haven't been buying stuff like that. I've been buying nothing but stuff that goes into that I know is something I collect in my PC, and it's not going anywhere.
Well, I don't sell hardly anything. So.
Right. Yeah. Me neither. But I mean, sometimes, I really like that card. and it's in a PSA or CSG. I'm buying the CSG, so that way I can get the CSG discount for whatever reason. We know what the reasons are. Let's hit this one question over here while it's there, since we're both Mets fans. And then, people, please, if you have any questions for Dave on the spreadsheet, I'm telling you, the spreadsheet is awesome. It's a good way to have it in your toolbox. And the only bad thing is, and I'm saying this in tongue in cheek, it doesn't tell you how much the card is. You'll have to kind of
yeah.
You know that every we got 8,000 different. Get your card hedge and then get this, and you'll be straight.
Yeah. So there are a lot of spreadsheets on, like, you can buy on there on like Etsy that are like more like value tracking your collection.
Right.
But I made this for collectors.
Right.
Exactly.
That's why I said that in tongue in cheek, because I'm like, my gosh, graphs. Thoughts of the Mets needing a ninth inning miracle to not be swept by the lowly Nationals. Here's my little. When I saw how well they did on the West Coast, right? They 7 out of 10 is what they won. I knew when they can't. Usually when they come back, they usually hit the wall. But man, they went and played like little leaguers against the Nationals. That was some of the worst baseball I've ever seen in my life. The highlight. I got to see one game, but the rest of them, they played horrible. So it's not a surprise to me at all. Well, the Bruins tied it up 2-2. It's not a surprise to me at all that happened. They had a little letdown. I've been telling people all along, if the Nationals can figure out how to finish a game, they're going to be tougher. They got a good young nucleus. Are they going to win 60 games? Maybe, probably not. Should the Mets not have lost 2 out of 3? Probably not. Not if they want to win their division like everybody thinks so. But I just, that, and it's division games sometimes. They just know each other so well, Dave. Like, they're tough games to play anyway. They're tougher than going to play somebody you only play every once in a while, like the Giants. So,
yeah, I see too, like a lot of teams too, when they play, if they play like a top end team, they may play a little tougher, and then sometimes they they don't prepare as well, probably for like the easier teams, and then all of a sudden it catches up with them, and then sometime in the year they're going to have to. They'll get back in their groove and not take stuff for granted, probably a little bit. So,
right, and I mean, in 540, he said it. They're playing better during that time frame. They did win 7 games in a row, right? So you can't take nothing away from it. They got it. They got, Gore is a real. I think he's a frontline pitcher. He's a real deal. They got Josiah Gray, who's another one. If they score runs when he pitches, he's a top tier guy. So right there, they got a 1-2 punch in the pitching staff that a lot of teams wish they had. They don't hit a lot of home runs, but up the middle, very strong team up the middle. Keibert, Ruiz, you have Garcia, C.J. Abrams, Robles up the middle. That is strong, and that is a very good young core. When Robles is one of your veteran guys, you got a young team. Let's say, Dave, do you sell cards as well on Etsy? If so, how does that go, or is it just the spreadsheet?
No, I just put the spreadsheets on there because it's the only place I can find where I could actually sell a spreadsheet. You get to download the file I put on there. So, okay. I've never tried selling cards on Etsy before. I've seen there were some on there, but I don't know how well that goes or anything like that. It's not expensive to list the cards or have your listings. Like, so mine's only 20 cents per listing, and I could put I guess every time I sell one, it charges me 20 cents if I put multiple of the same spreadsheet. So I have 999 copies of each spreadsheet I can sell per listing, which I know I'm not selling that many. But every time I sell one, I get charged 20 cents. And then if none of them sell, I guess I have 4 months before it charges me again 20 cents. And then my stuff starts all over again. So it's not expensive to list there. And then they take a little piece of the action.
But, right. It seems like Etsy does pretty well for like people that are looking for a little bit more small business type of deal.
Yeah, a lot of people sell like they do, shirt embroidering or something like that. They can sell their T-shirts on Etsy.
Well, I know that's a good place to get a lot of stuff like 3D printing stuff, and also like I do video games, so I buy a lot of if my jewel cases are broken, I can get them off of Etsy because they're 3D printed, and then I can get. I'm not good with online printing like my own cover art and stuff, and it's not expensive to buy that. I use Etsy to buy that stuff off of there. So I guess Etsy would be a different audience and may work for cards probably more during 2020 or 21 boom. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't see a lot of people going there to look for baseball cards.
Well, I tell you what,
you never know.
I kind of said this a few months ago that I think it's nice to have a lot of places to go to buy baseball cards or buy cards in general. Whatever you're buying, there's always nice to have more than one place. But I think now we're going a little too far because, PWCC laying off people and things like that. The market's probably still strong, but is it strong enough to just support all the weight? It's so spread out across this industry right now where everybody and their brother has a website that's selling cards. And then when Fanatics comes with their secondary market extension to what they already have, it's going to be really the backbreaker for a lot of these, I think. Oh, Bobbles is on here, and he has stretched his forte out into other things, so he would know a lot about this Etsy too. Issue with Etsy is there are too many counterfeit fake cards sold here. I think getting an audience and having a buyer trust would be difficult. Yeah, and that's probably the same way with like Facebook Marketplace. I have bought some stuff off of Facebook for cards, but they're low in like lots. I have bought video games where I've gone and picked them up from people. That's the difference with Facebook Marketplaces. When you generally go pick up something from the person, it's going to work because now I know where you live. So, I have bought TVs and video game lots off of Facebook Marketplace. All I know, let's see, all I know is eBay and other sport card stuff. Not into the Etsy or Mercari type apps, but now people who sell other collectibles there. I know Mercari for a while was a hotbed for cards. They're really, really, again, they're trying this Whatnot app, pushing the hell out of that again. I don't know how well. Have you ever gone on Whatnot yourself, Dave, and taken a game?
I'm eBay or COMC. It's only two places I buy cards, unless I'm at a show. And
it's rare. I just started COMC myself. My buddy Carlos got me started. I haven't gone back on there in a while because I just don't have the funds to do it. I usually just go to eBay, get a couple of cards, and I'm good for a few weeks. But eBay just till something else comes along, till Fanatics builds out what they're going to do. I think that's going to be the spot.
Yeah, well, eBay will give me my instant satisfaction, sort of. I mean, or I'll get a satisfaction within a week of me purchasing something. But like for COMC, that's more of for my rookie cards and stuff like that. Where I'm trying to get them like as many as I can, right, of the top players. and I'm still working on like the 1990s. I do have some the modern stuff too, but not. I'm still working on decades at a time, so I can keep it kind of in order.
Right.
But I don't really need to get a Mike Sweeney rookie card in today. I don't so, but there's a 50-cent card, so I just put $100 on there and buy whatever amount of cards I can get with $100, and a couple months later I'll put like another $100 in.
Right.
And just keep buying cards. I let them just sit there, and they might sit there for a year, and then finally when I have enough where I feel comfortable with it, all right, I'd send me my 300 cards I just bought over the last 8-9 months. Year. So,
and it's just hard for me to let cards just. That was my problem. Like I went in there and I bought some cards. I'll go in there every once in a while, and then they were just sitting there staring at me. I was like, I gotta get them. I can't let them just sit there. I gotta have those cards in my collection.
But some of the stuff I buy, it's going right into a box anyway. It's top loaded into a box. My rookie cards, and I go on my spreadsheet and I get what I have now. I have a raw copy of it, and then now I know what I got.
Right.
But and then like my autographs, the stuff I buy that I look at more often than normal. I display them here on my displays. I want those as soon as possible.
Right. Yeah. That's. I just all of them. I mean, everybody knows how I feel about a 50-cent card compared to 1,000. I just they mean the same to me a lot. The weight on my heart is the same weight. It doesn't really matter. I think a lot of collectors like us are like that. I just gotta have it, even if it's going into a dark hole box. I'd rather have it in my dark hole box than theirs. I gotta have it. I gotta have it in my grubby hands.
And maybe too that if CMC is able to, I haven't got to order it back in since like last. I guess it might have been right before National last year. I finally asked for it to be shipped. It was a pretty big one, like 300 cards or something like that.
Right.
But it was like during COVID, they were 6 months out shipping.
Yeah.
We buy it in September, we'll ship in December. It's kind of like, how is that possible? But so now if they're staffed up a little better and they're able to ship quicker, I would probably ship sooner.
That's what I did. As I went on there, I probably bought about 50 cards. Then I bought about 15 to 20 more, and I was like, I'm just going to go ahead and get them shipped to me. I got them in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I was shocked how fast I got them, and it's sad to be pleasantly shocked for something he should have been doing to begin with. But it feels like they're on the right track now when it comes to that. And you got to, go with the flow when it comes to that. If the company and I got to tell you, I sent an order in this month to CSG. I don't think it was there on their books for 2 weeks, and it's already graded. Now it's going to sit on the shelf there before it gets sent back to me for 2 weeks. That's the problem they're having. But like these companies are picking up pretty fast. I still PSA just scratches my mind what people still deal with them on a regular basis, and to get that PSA bump on the marketplace when you got two other companies that everybody knows is believe in their grading. They don't fudge on their grading. They're very good at the grading. Everybody trusts their grading. You get all these great words on their plastic and flips and everything, but PSA is where it's at. So for whatever rhyme or reason.
Yeah, and if I ever send something to PSA, it's going to be probably something a little more high end, right?
Right.
So because you have to on some of the stuff, right? But if I'm sending in PC stuff that for my collection, I don't care where it's from. It's going to be SGC or a CSG. I'm kind of good with it. I'll lean more towards SGC, just because. But I know I haven't graded anything with the new when they switched over the grading scale to the new stuff.
For CSG, you mean?
Yeah, I always saw the stuff with the old green label that was.
I love CSG. I'm not their fanboy or nothing. I just I their price feels right. Their flips are awesome. The plastic. The only thing that upsets me is they don't grade the non-sport stuff. So and I still love SGC.
So would they make you go to their other companies or some of that for?
No, they only do stuff? The other company that only does TCG, and they only do Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, and they started doing Marvel cards, I think, for some reason, but not Star Wars, and and not all TCG. Because I don't think they do. I think they only do Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon, which is weird because that it's a comic book company is what they're pretty much known for. So you would think like a lot of that stuff would be like, oh, it's just part of the comic book section. It'd be but because I called them when I first signed up because I was like, hey, if I have the CSG, if I'm signed up for CSG, do I have to sign up again for this other one? If once y'all decide y'all going to start doing these, and they're like, well, we don't really see that coming, and I don't even think we got to it. So I don't know if I got to sign up. They do Star Wars now, Scott. I don't. If they do, I would like to see where that's at for CSG.
Might be a good question to National to ask them. You go in there and talk to them.
Yeah. Because if they do Bobbles, that'd be awesome. Don't get me wrong. Still love my SGC. I tell you, Star Wars cards for SGC just pop. I mean, with that black, because the characters just pop off. I think the same way with a lot of wrestling cards as well. But I love that so clear for at CSG. The stuff just looks like it's floating.
Oh yeah, Scott, if you want to, I do have a wrestling rookie card spreadsheet if you want to.
Now, how did you come? Now, here's my question. I would be interested in that, but man,
I'm not selling that one. I'll just give it to you.
Okay, but for some of that stuff, like for wrestling, is the gimmick the rookie, or is the person that the gimmick is on the rookie? How is a rookie a rookie?
So so some of the stuff is marked as rookie on a trading card database, right? And some of it's not. And especially in the wrestling, it's all jacked up. I don't know if they even know what they're doing on that. So what I kind of did was, I took the wrestlers, I guess the good wrestlers, right? And I will mark on the sheet in like a notes like first appearance of this wrestler on a card.
Right.
And then maybe not like this should be considered as rookie card, or I just made wild guesses. What I would think it should be.
I'm sitting here in my mind because there's some like guys that have some gimmicks, and some people like have great gimmicks, and I'm trying to figure out like, and they've wrestled in different promotions.
So I have it as like some of the stuff too, like so wrestled under two different gimmicks. I'll have on there like first appearance of him on this this thing. So let me send it to you real quick.
All right, because like Bryan Danielson, he did Daniel Bryan, but he was Bryan Danielson. Then he was Daniel Bryan WWE. Now it's back to Bryan Danielson. It's just like I'm trying to think of like you got Stone Cold. That was he had several different gimmicks before he was Stone Cold.
Yeah. So let me.
The Ultimate Warrior. He was, the Dingo Warrior. He was the Warrior, an Ultimate Warrior. Hogan's always been Hogan, but he's had different monikers. I mean, it's just.
Yeah. So, like, I'm looking at it. I just sent it to you. You may just pull it up. How I'll go through it. Kind of. I even have tag teams on there. Like, what card their first tag team card was on, just for.
Yeah, and that's another. the tag team thing. That gets my head scratching too.
Yeah, so even like let me go. I'm looking through this. Where was it at? God, what the hell's the dude's name? I don't know why I can't think of the guy.
At least Eric right now is not ready to jump off the roof of his house. 3-2.
So I'm trying to flip through this sheet real quick so I can figure out. Oh, here we go. So one of them I have like Brutus Beefcake, right? So I have his O-Pee-Chee 85 as should be his rookie card. And then I have him as the disciple underneath his name.
Right.
First appearance of the disciple.
Right.
So
see, I got some nice classic from a trivia game WWE cards coming back WWF cards with CSG. Actually Sting before he was the black and white Sting. And Undertaker. Well, Sting, I guess that's WCW, but the Sting, then I got Undertaker. I'm really excited to get those back. And they actually, I didn't get a 10 because after I saw the prices of the 10s for those, I was like, maybe that is something I stick in my maybe trade or sell at the national cards, just because of what I paid for versus what the payoff is for them. But it's just tough for me to do because I didn't buy those for that reason. So Brutus Barber Beefcake. See, that's one too. So Brutus Beefcake, he has so many different. So you got him.
So those everything. So that'd be Brutus Beefcake. All those top ones would just be Brutus.
Yeah.
Beefcake.
So you got him in as the disciple.
Yeah.
In the WCW NWO. That was first card of the disciple, right?
Yeah.
I got it. That's what he looked like, the motorcycle dude, a biker dude. He was kind of Hulk's bodyguard.
Yeah. So yes, I would just go through, click on a wrestler, go to their first year. I thought they should be on a card. I made a spreadsheet in case I ever decided to collect other stuff, because obviously you have golf on there, tennis, boxing, rookies.
Right.
If I just want to try to expand my.
Well, I can tell you right now, golf is a big thing, and those cards they don't come out every year, and when they do, it just seems to be a big deal. This year they're really expensive. So we can find these on Etsy. Just look up rookie card spreadsheets or sports card spreadsheets.
Yeah, and it should pop up. You'll see sports card sheets as the business. Anybody wants 10% off, just use the code DMLCC, and I have a code on there for 10% off.
Oh, there you go. That's nice to know. I'll put that in the show notes down below for anybody, because I've been getting nice little turnout for watching the archive, so I'll put some notes down below for you, Dave. And anybody have any questions, you can catch him on Dave's Midlife Card Crisis. And what's your alternate channel now?
It's Sports Card Sheets by Dave's Midlife Card by Dave's MLCC.
Yeah, I saw it on. I've been meaning to go to it. I saw you posted that on one of the Facebook pages. I saw you post that.
Yeah, so I'm trying. Obviously, I don't want to bore everybody with my spreadsheet videos, even though I probably should, since I have 1,000 subs. Not that I get a lot of people watch my videos anymore like they were, 7, 8 years ago.
Right.
But so I decided to make the second channel just for my spreadsheet stuff, and I'll update my normal channel here and there. But I'm pretty much have all the videos. Everyone I've actually put on Etsy will be on there. So I have the master sheet for baseball, which is like I said, $20, and has every top rookie from pretty much pre-1900s up through 2020 is all filled out. And then football is 1935 up through 2021. And I'm working on 2022 right now. Almost done with that. I saw more releases still to come from last year. So once those get released, I'll get to fill those out, and then we'll put the sheet as well. And then I have the individual. I put a couple individual years. So, say someone doesn't want to spend $20 on a full sheet, which I'll just put $5 for individual year, which is, or some of them are $3. Like I even have, I think, like 80s rookies up only for like $3.99 or $4.99, both football and baseball. 1990s, the same thing, $3.99 or $4.99. I can't remember what the price is on them. And then the individual one, like I gave to you for the Pete Alonso, which is just a lot more detail on a single player, including the prospect years and the rookie year. And those are like $5.99 each. So I have Alonso on there, Shohei Ohtani, and Aaron Judge.
Right.
And I'm going to try to knock out a couple football. Probably start with some quarterbacks and stick them up there. And then I'm not sure on the football should be easier for me to do than the baseball ones, because like even on the one I sent you, all those like the Topps pro debut and a lot of those Leaf sets. I actually don't have them on the master set. I only kept the top. The no minor league cards will be on the master set, but for the one I gave you, I want to add those to them. So I have to actually add those sets onto the sheet and go through it and figure out, all that stuff. I can't just copy and paste some stuff. I do.
I know you sent it to me, and I looked through it, and I know we were leading up to this, and today I really looked through it, and I was like, man, I really need to sit down and go through this, and this is going to point me in a direction that really, for me, I'm trying to get to 1,000 Pete Alonso cards, but I just don't want 1,000 different. If I'm going to have 1,000, I'd rather have 1,000 of his rookies or SRTs, which I'm sure there are 1,000.
And for you, I mean, obviously I'm not gonna lie, like if you wanted to keep track of like all his cards, like moving forward using that same sheet, just add another year, do it yourself. Adding the year, why I think my master sheet's so good for collectors. You're trying to add all those damn sets and parallels and the numbering. Dude, that takes me the longest stuff. Right. Like if I have say a rookie comes up and he's not very good for a couple of years, right? Especially like in football. Like there's some guys on there that I only have the top 10 to 15 rookie cards from that individual year.
Right.
So sometimes out of nowhere we get some guys pop up that maybe they were injured their first year, and then they're in like year 4, and all of a sudden they're like Pro Bowlers or All-Stars. Right. I'm gonna go add them to my sheet now because they're really good.
Right.
So it only takes me like an hour, which is crazy, to go through and just add a column, add the player, go through and add all his rookie cards that he's in there. Real easy for me to do. But I'll get to Colorado Sports Card Dude in a minute. But if I want to add all the sets for each year, dude, it takes me 6 weeks to add all the sets and probably all the players if they're in their sets. Like 6 weeks to do it for a certain year.
Right.
But it takes me an hour if I already have the sets already lined up in there. An hour I can go through it and fill it out, and I have them on the sheet.
Right.
So Arenado, I don't have an individual sheet for him yet, but he's on my master sheet. But if you want, I'll knock one out for you and put it on Etsy and do an individual player one for him. It takes me just a couple days to do those. I just copy and paste.
Right. Copy and paste is your friend.
Yeah, it's not. The only thing is for me, like on yours, I actually have the card numbers on there.
Right.
So that kind of takes me the longest to do on those individual player ones is adding that stuff. But it takes me a couple days and I can get it knocked out. So, and Arenado is a player that could actually probably sell. So I'll knock one out for you, and I'll put it on my channel, let you know when it's available.
Right.
If you want one.
I can tell you right now, I'm very mad that you sent me this one with all these wrestlers on here. Yeah, man. But anyway, Dave, I really appreciate you coming on here and talking to us with this. Dave is a good friend of mine now in the hobby. I love talking to him about everything under the sun, and appreciate you, Dave, coming on. And don't worry, you'll see Dave at least one more time before the National. We're down to 3 months and 3 weeks, if anybody's counting. I know Dave is his big holiday of the year. He was like talking about it last year's National.
Yeah, like the day I left, I'm ready to come back.
Yeah, me and him were talking about, hey, should we start looking for hotels now?
Probably should have.
We should have. But I think we know if we talked about it, thanks to Bobbles showing. If you see the floor plan for the National, I think we know why we can't find a room. But we'll at least have one National. We have a house, so Dave and a few of us will probably be on here talking about it.
Real quick, one more thing for Colorado Sports Dude. So if you just need something, like you said, if you want, Arenado plus a bunch of different players, look into my the master sheet. Like I said, it's only $20, so it'll probably be 18 with the code I just gave. Also, as you'll have Charlie Blackmon on there. Who else plays for the Rockies that could be on there?
Troy Tulowitzki.
Tulowitzki's on there. All his rookie cards.
Who's the one that just Trevor Story?
All Arenado's all his prospect cards are on there as well. And all Charlie Blackmon's prospect cards are on there as well.
I would think Trevor Story probably.
Trevor Story's on there as well. Yeah, I have all the on there. So yeah, and then if you collect any other guys, it's pretty easy to add the stuff yourself. It takes probably an hour to add them once the guy, if they're not actually on the sheet. But like I said, try doing yourself. It's going to take. It takes a while, unless you just don't want to collect them all. And you can, and even on the sheets too, you can get rid of some of the players. I'm not collecting these guys. I don't need this on here. Or you keep the master sheet, and then you make a secondary sheet that you edit yourself. So you always have one that has all the information, and then you just take the ones you want and put on your own personal sheet by copy and pasting. That works too. So.
All right. Well, Dave, again, appreciate it. I like the questions coming out from you guys. I'm telling you, at least go and take a look at it. I mean, I've made my own spreadsheets, but I wish somebody would have came along and offered this to me years ago, and I probably would have went that route because I need a David Wright one. I'm just throwing that out there for a master of David Wright, but that's something I can work on.
I have him too.
So until next time, guys, like, share. I'll have me and my dad tomorrow talking Guardians. So until then, subscribe, and we'll see you. I can't get to the right button. I got all my channels going. Let's see here.